But we did also have some news from All Elite Wrestling, and I want to make sure we get into this because some pretty fascinating stuff happened on Dynamite. Number one, Jay White shows up. So Jay White is now All Elite.
That was expected, I think.
Yeah, I don't think anybody was really thinking he was going to WWE. But Jay White is now All Elite. FTR back as the tag team champions, and that pretty much affirms their contract status. They're not going back to WWE. Thank God. I would say that's a very good thing. And then the major announcement. You know, Tony Khan loves those major announcements. This was actually a major announcement, as they announced that they will be doing a card called All In. Of course, that name is back because they got the Ring of Honor thing. That was the first thing that started everything with All Elite Wrestling at Wembley Stadium. That's right, kids. The 80,000 plus. Actually, I think you can get 90 in there if I remember right.
Putting fans in the field.
Yeah. A lot of seats to sell. And I think a lot of people, when the first announcement got made right off the bat, were like, AEW is not going to sell out Wembley. Well, already on pre-sale, they've sold 25,000 tickets. Pre-sale. So that means, and the card, no idea what the card's going to be. We're 4+ months out. So let me ask you guys this. Do you think that AEW can sell out Wembley Stadium? David.
The David difference, man.
So I'm having fun with it. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good, man. So 90,000, I don't know. That's a stretch, man. That's a lot of people there. But I think that every time that they got a big arena, that was in question. Like, can they sell it out? Yeah. And they sell it out quick. Like, fans are pretty loyal to this brand. So I definitely don't put it past them.
Yeah, I think it's definitely possible if you're going to do a stadium. I think Great Britain is a great place to try and do it because they have some pretty intense fans. I think they can. I mean, they definitely exceeded expectations in the past to what Dave said. You know, like their fans are super loyal. I could see their people going across the pond to go to the show. I could absolutely see it. I could see you doing that, Mark.
Yeah, it would be fun.
It would actually.
I think that this is actually, if you were going to do your first big stadium show, I mean, they sold out Arthur Ashe Stadium, you know, which is where the U.S. Open is for tennis.
Right.
You know, and I think it's around 22-ish, and they had no problem doing that. But obviously, this is a whole new ballgame. But they haven't been there yet, which obviously you get this is the first time we get to see the AEW gang there. Plus, you have the rabid fans that are in the London area coming out there too. I think Tony may have made a pretty good decision. Are they gonna get the 80 to 90,000? Yeah, we'll find out. I think some of it's going to be card dependent too.
Well, who do they? Well, that's what I was just going to say. Well, who do they have on the roster? Like what, Saraya? That's local.
Right.
You got to have that. I mean, if they're not going to have some, not her necessarily, but if you're not going to have at least some kind of a solid draw, in my opinion, who's from the area, you know, like that's where I think like Gunther will get booed like crazy. They hate him there. So but as far as like somebody who's way over that's British, that's what I think you really need on a card like that. And like, you got to have people like that.
And you know who I think one name they will probably bring in is Will Ospreay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if Ospreay was brought in for this card. But you know, I was trying to think of possible main events that you could have for this. And one came to mind that I think would be really intriguing. And obviously maybe you still have the CM Punk card to play, but I don't know if that'll do it. But would an MJF and Adam Cole main event be enough to do it? I mean, obviously you're going to have other matches on the card, but that's not a bad main event if you could save it.
Right. Yeah, I think it would be a great main event, but to increase the 90,000,
I don't know if that's
think it's that one. That's bigger than WrestleMania.
Well, I think and I think one of the big, at least the Wembley Stadium show I think about is in I believe it was 91, the SummerSlam. Bret and Davey Boy.
Yes.
He wrestled Davey Boy.
Right.
That's why it was, you know, obviously it's 30 years ago, but it's still the same premise. I mean, they love their hometown talent, you know, and I think that I think they would want to have somebody like that either in the main event or in the mix for it. You know, somebody. I don't know if Will Ospreay's that guy. He's there all the time. I know he wrestles Japan, but he wrestles in Europe too. They see him a lot. I don't know if that's necessarily a name that's gonna.
That would be intriguing if you say you matched. Well, now if you matched up Bryan Danielson with Ospreay on the card,
I'm not saying
now that would certainly add to the mix.
This goes back to what we were talking about with Gunther and Roman Reigns.
Right.
No, is for business wise, no, but it's be a heck of a match.
Yeah.
Ospreay being there is good. I'm not saying it's not, but I don't know. I just would like to see him have somebody else that could be, maybe would be a bigger draw out there than Ospreay.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see what you do on that card, and with the other ones leading up to it. Obviously, we still got Double or Nothing coming up.
Yeah.
So you've got that in the mix there too. So this is going to be pretty fascinating if they can pull this off. I think they will.
I hope they do. I hope they're able to do it. I think that would be cool if they can sell that out. But I mean, here's the thing. I think you have to also kind of taper your expectations to a degree too. Like, is your goal, like, obviously you want to sell it out, of course, but I don't think if they got 60 or 70,000 at Wembley that's necessarily a fail.
No, absolutely not.
There'll be people that say it's a fail, but that's not a fail. That's excellent. And if that's where they're kind of going with it, like, hey, we're going to talk selling it out, but we get 65,000 would be great. Like, if that's what their goal is, then you know what I mean? Like, it depends on what they do. If they're going to go and try to just sell it out, or if they're just going to. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you sell out, even if you don't sell a massive stadium out like that, there's still a lot. If you sell 50,000+ tickets, let's say you do 60,
crowd.
You get 60. Well, that's pretty much Allegiant Stadium right there,
and twice as much as Arthur Ashe. So that's a win.
Yeah,
the crowd would still be hot. It would still be. I just think they would. I think they would like to have somebody that could maybe be a bigger draw than Will Ospreay.
Well, maybe if Drew McIntyre doesn't sign his new contract,
that would be somebody that would certainly be.
Could you imagine if Drew McIntyre goes in there against MJF for the World Championship?
No, there's your crowd.
Yeah,
there's your 90,000.
That would handle the situation. All right.